Hello beautiful people, welcome to your astrological forecast for the upcoming week. I'm actually recording this on the day of the full moon in Libra. It hasn't quite peaked yet, but by the time you're watching this, it will be post full moon in Libra because I will be releasing this tomorrow on Sunday. So these are the energies I'm interacting with at the moment. This is going to be a hybrid video. It is not going to be just astrological forecast. It will be also a practical application of astrology because I do have a lot to share. However, because of everything else that's going on in my life, I do not really have the time to record 2 videos a week at the moment, so I'm going to do a little hybrid over here, and yeah, whatever resonates with you, take away with you, and what doesn't, leave behind, as usual. So before I go any further, let me just tune in and call in on my higher self, my spirit guides, ancestors, ascended masters, starseed family, all the beings of light that wish to be present, angelic team, my astrological team, and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone. And let me just dive in. I'm quickly going to just name the aspects, and then I'm really going to just talk. So yeah, so as I already mentioned, today when I'm recording this is Saturday the 12th. We are experiencing the full moon in Libra in a few hours time. Actually, the Sun and Chiron conjunction that is happening today already took place on 22 degrees 59 minutes, resetting the cycle that began between Chiron and Sun on the day of the full moon solar eclipse in Aries last year on April the 8th. So here we go, another cycle is beginning of the full moon in Libra, right, the opposition of it. And also later on today or tomorrow morning, depending where you are in the world, Venus will be stationed in direct. Venus has been retrograde, I believe, since 1st of March. Let me see. Yes, since 1st of March, and Venus is stationed in direct today in Pisces, 24 degrees 38 minutes, and yeah, Venus is going to go forward from now on, and then she's going to move back into the sign of Aries, I believe, on April 30th, right? Yeah, the day I leave Puerto Vallarta. Okay, then tomorrow Sunday, moon will move into the sign of Scorpio. Definitely help us to dig deep with everything that we are seeing as illumination of our experience at the moment, and I'm definitely tapping into the moon in Scorpio as well myself personally. And then we're going to enter the week, new week, Monday the 14th, with moon in a sign of Scorpio. Then Tuesday, Juno retrograde will move into Scorpio, Mercury will trine Juno, and moon will move into sign of Sag. Then Wednesday, or still Tuesday the 15th, depending where you are in the world, for most people it will be Wednesday the 16th. Mercury, now direct, will return back into the sign of Aries. Let me just see my notes. I have some notes about this. So Mercury was already in the sign of Aries between 3-3, March the 3rd and March 29th. We remember Mercury moved into the sign of Pisces right after the new moon solar eclipse in Aries of this year, 2025. And Mercury will now, from Wednesday the 16th, Mercury will be back into the sign of Aries and remain there until May 10th. So Mercury will move into sign of Taurus just before the full moon in Scorpio, which will be on May 12th, I believe. And on the same day, on Wednesday 16th, Mercury will have his third and a final conjunction with Neptune. However, this is the first one in the sign of Aries, first one in our lifetime. So Mercury already conjuncted Neptune in Pisces on 2nd of March and also 29th of March. This all was happening alongside with this solar eclipse in Aries, which was experienced recently. And that was the second conjunction, was on 29 degrees 59 minutes. And this is, as I already mentioned, the first conjunction between Mercury and Neptune in the sign of Aries, but the third one of the three that we've been experiencing in the past couple of months, well, 1 month and a bit. And this conjunction is happening on 0 degrees and 38 minutes. So the last one was on 29 degrees, analytic degree, 29, 2 and 9, 11, and this one is on 0 degrees, again, analytic degrees, and 3 and 8 adds up to 11 again. So these are very important things to pay attention to, because we are changing the way of perceiving reality and looking at things from a completely different lens that holds a completely different meaning, really, and that's happening collectively because Neptune, just like Uranus and Pluto, are planets that are impacting entire generations. So these are not personal planets. However, Mercury is personal, therefore it makes it very, very felt in our everyday experience, because Mercury, the way we communicate, identify reality, connect to one another. All right, moving on. So this was Wednesday. Thursday the 17th, Mars will make trine to Juno retrograde, and then subsequently on Thursday the 17th, Mars will return back into the sign of Leo. Once again, Mars already was in the sign of Leo, just like Mercury already was in the sign of Aries. Mars was in Leo between November 3rd, 2024 and January 6th, 2025. Then Mars moved back into sign of Cancer, where Mars was and still is at the time of me recording this until now, April the 17th. And then Mars will remain in the sign of Leo until June 17th, and that's the day when Mars will move into the sign of Virgo. All right, so a lot of shifts of energy after this full moon in Libra. Then Friday the 18th, moon will move into the sign of Cancer. Saturday, sun will move into the sign of Taurus, so we will enter into Taurus season on April 19th, which is a little bit early than is usually done, but this is what's happening. Everything is changing, all the patterns are breaking, so we will enter into Taurus season on 19th of April 2025, exactly on Easter Saturday. And yeah, happy birthday to all Tauruses, myself included. My birthday is following week. So anyway, that is for another conversation. And then on the same day, Saturday the 19th, Mars in Leo will make his third and a final trine to Neptune in Aries, 0 degrees 44 minutes. 44, again, master number frequency we have over here. Now adds to number 8. That's the year we had last year. So Mars already had 2 trines with Neptune. The first one was on 28th of October 2024, and the second one was on 12th of January 2025, but both of those were while Mars was in the sign of Cancer and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So we have a little bit of a difference here. With the Mercury, it was 2 conjunction in Pisces, this one is in Aries, the water and the fire, and now Mars had his 2 trines with Neptune from water, from Cancer to Pisces, and now this is the first one from Leo to Aries. So again, big shift of energy, because Mars in the sign of Cancer helped us to dig deep into our emotions and reevaluate our attachments to our sense of identity, who we think we are. And now with Neptune moving from Pisces into the sign of Aries, it's all about this new direction, new sense of purpose, new sense of authentic expression. All right, and then if it wasn't enough of these 3 hits, on Sunday the 20th, we will experience the third and a final sextile between Venus and Uranus. On this is 25 degrees 45 minutes. Venus, of course, is in the sign of Pisces still. Uranus is in Taurus, ruled by Venus. The first sextile took place on January 26th, and the second on April 7th, very recently, only the previous week. And then on the same day also we are experiencing the third and a final sextile between Mercury in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius, 3 degrees 46 minutes, and the first sextile between them was on March 5th and the second on March 25th. And then subsequently Moon will move into sign of Aquarius, which is all about breaking free from the outdated patterns, right? Because now we have this free hit, things are completed. Venus will still have some of her third hits, but Mercury is technically done with his free hits. And yeah, later on the same day, Sunday the 20th, or for some of you guys it will be Monday the 21st, Sun will make a square to Mars. Sun in the sign of Taurus, Mars now by this point, 20th of April, back in the sign of Leo, 1 degrees 12 minutes. And this is starting to culminate the cycle that began between Mars and Sun on November 18, 2023, when they last had their conjunction in the sign of Scorpio. And their next conjunction then will be on January 9th, 2026, on 19 degrees of Capricorn. And yeah, this is the final square before the closing of the cycle, but because of the nature of things, Sun to Mars, this has the frequency of a first square, which is the crisis in action. Crisis in action, what are we changing? We are breaking free from our comfort zone and following this new sense of purpose and destiny and authentic expression. And then we will enter into the upcoming week, the week after that, starting with April the 21st, with Moon in the sign of Aquarius and Saturn making a conjunction to North Node in the sign of Pisces. But that we will dig deeper into the next week's astrological forecast, which will be also focused on the new moon in Taurus. And I will probably do a fortnightly astrological fortnightly astrological forecast covering 2 weeks of themes, because it will be my birthday week, and then after that I will be relocating back to Europe, so I will be a little bit pressed of time with regards to my ability to record. So anyway, like I said, that's all for another conversation. And just looking at all these aspects, as I mentioned, technically almost all of them are a third hit of previous 2 hits. Mercury conjunct Neptune, Mars trine Neptune, Venus sextile Uranus, Mercury sextile Pluto. What did I miss? I missed one more, didn't I? No, I think that's it. Mercury, Venus, and Mercury again. So yeah, and the second ingress into the sign, Mercury returning back to Aries and Mars returning back to Leo. So that is a big week. Like we have this combination of these triple aspects between certain planets. Like I said, Venus still have some ongoing, some upcoming, and this is just highlighting this energy of this full moon in Libra, which we are experiencing today. As I'm recording this, for you watching this, it will be post full moon in Libra, but this is the energy I'm fully engrossed in, and especially having my own experience with it. As I mentioned, this is going to be a bit of a hybrid, because I've not done practical applicational astrology, I believe, for about 3 months now, and it's been a ride. It's been a roller coaster, and like seriously, with this Pluto square that is happening in my life as we speak in a real time for the past month, these energies are incredibly present in my life personally. I know in my clients' life, because obviously frequency match and all of that, all the clients that I'm attracting are processing whatever I'm processing at the time of me doing the reading for them. So the messages coming through for them are as valid for me too. And it's always not always easy to walk one's own talk when you are in the situation, because when we're so close, we cannot see. We not always can see. So anyway, with this full moon in Libra, we can see a lot because it's a full moon, it's an illumination. It's illuminating to us all these outdated patterns, because Venus as the ruler is in Pisces. She's sandwiched there between Saturn and North Node, and obviously everything else that's going on there. If you want more detail about it, then check my last astrological forecast, which was dedicated to this full moon in Libra. But the bottom line is that there are still a lot of activities going on in the sign of Pisces, and at the same time a lot of activity is focused in the sign of Aries. As I mentioned today, we already experienced the Chiron Sun conjunction. This is resetting the cycle that began with the eclipse, because that's the last time Sun and Chiron had a conjunction, on the day of the eclipse in Aries last year, 8th of April, which was the Chiron was exactly conjunct the eclipse. So these are very very powerful energies that we are working with at the moment, and they are bringing to the surface of our consciousness with this Jupiter as the traditional rule of the North Node, being ruled by Mercury. Mercury, like I said, having all his triple things going on, moving back into sign of Aries in a few days' time from me recording this. We're going ahead. Now we are fully out of this eclipse season, but the after effects of this eclipse season, as I mentioned in my previous videos, we will be integrating while Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius. So we're talking about almost 2 decades worth of integration, because everything is changing. And yeah, for me personally, as I mentioned, like I'm processing a lot of my own things, a lot of stuff, especially with this Mars still being in the sign of Cancer, still being the ruler of the sun, even though this this lunation is ruled by Venus, but Venus is in a sign of Pisces. Things are ending, our values, our needs, everything is changing, the way we interacting with one another, the way we interacting with ourselves, because the other only just reflects to us what is inside of us, right? The Libra is always just a mirror. It is not where things are created, it is where things are mirrored back to us, so we can change the pattern, right? Like Venus Libra trines Uranus and Gemini, so it's all about the choice and change of the pattern. If that which you see mirrored back to you is not working for you no more, but you have to decide, right? With this Jupiter being a sign of Gemini, we are all choosing our future timelines, like what is the story you want to experience. So going back to this full moon in Libra, because this week, which like we discussing over here, this will be the after effects, the integration of the energy of the full moon in Libra, and then as the moon will start waning, preparing for what are we releasing with regards to what became illuminated to us. And as I mentioned during my previous astrological forecast, this is an energy that got seeded with eclipse, because the new moon in Libra in 2024 on October 2nd was an eclipse. It was the final eclipse in the sign of Libra. So we are once again seeding these new ways of relating, but not just to one another, even though of course that's very important aspect of human experience, but to the reality as all. Because Libra is everything that's outside of you, all the people, all the circumstances, everything that we relate into, and everything here is relational, right? We came here to experience life as a human through relational dynamics. So that's why Libra is in opposition with Aries, because there is this continuous process of balancing, and then in conjunction to Virgo and in conjunction to Scorpio, learning and adjusting, and either finding empowerment or feeling disempowered, which then again continuously challenges us in growing. That's the grand fixed cross. So there is always growth and expansion going on, because that's evolution. It's the continuous movement forward, right? Which is desiring to expand. So anyway, so going back to what I said, my personal experience was like through my own personal relational dynamics that I'm experiencing at the moment. There are a lot of things mirrored back to me right on time, of course, with my Pluto square and shedding the old layers of identity. And this is the collective energy, with this Mars being a sign of Cancer, currently still in his shadow until May 2nd. And yes, now making his final, what was it, trine to Neptune, right? And Mars is going to also have his final opposition to Pluto on 26th of April, right on my birthday. So there is this balancing of who we were and who we becoming with this trine to Neptune. Neptune now being in a sign of Aries. The meaning is changing. The direction of our life is changing. We can feel like this big wheel I've been talking about for about a year now, this big wheel, this big cruise ship in a sense, like it's turning, right? Everything is changing. And many of us are very aware of this energy, tune into it. Some people are unconscious about it, but it's still happening. We cannot stop these energies. They are manifesting one way or another, whether we are conscious about it or not. If we're conscious and aware, then we can obviously channel the energy the way that is the way that is, well, I mean, it's serving purpose either way, right? But you know, like if you are aware and conscious, you can use the energy in a way that you want to use it, right? Consciously. Otherwise, the energy uses, you know, is used in a way that it uses itself, right? Unconsciously. So anyway, so through this relational dynamic, myself personally, people around me, my clients, you know, I'm sure every one of you listening, we are experiencing a mirroring effect from the external environment. In many cases, people, because of course we're talking about Libra over here, relationships, and also Libra, Venus being a sign of Pisces, which is where she's exalted, the unconditional love, finding a ways to become whole again, how to remove this polarization, you know, that created all this division in the world between one another, between ourselves inside, right? Even our own different aspects of who we are, the fragmentation, the disconnection from oneself, and this is all becoming illuminated. And these triple hits of these planets that we have going on, and all of it is happening between personal and these evolutionary planets, right? The Mercury conjunct Neptune, Mercury personal planets, Neptune is impersonal planets, then Venus sextile to Uranus, Mercury sextile to Pluto, and Mars trine to Neptune. These are all Mercury, Mars, and Venus, the personal planets. You know, Mars is the action, how we action anything, how we keep going in life. Mercury is how we communicate, how we connect to reality. Venus is the relationships, right? The needs, values, the what is the whole point, right? To everything. So all of these things are being triggered, right? And in connection with this in these evolutionary planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, this is a change that's happening on an individual and collective level. It's impacting everyone. So once again, with this full moon in Libra, what is becoming illuminated to us is what is and is no longer working, what is and is no longer holding meaning with regards to where we were and where we're going. And this is for everyone to decide, because Mercury, right? Choice, Jupiter, the traditional ruler of the North Node, Jupiter is in Gemini. You decide what is your story, you decide what is your future timeline, because Gemini, once again, trines Aquarius. You have the choice right here, right now, this year in the year 9, to free yourself from the past ways of being, from the karmic contracts, these trauma loops, you know, that we all stuck in, myself including. Like I've been experiencing this, especially in these past few days, like really in the past few months, but very profoundly throughout the eclipse season, being an eclipse baby myself, being born only 1 week before an eclipse, and having moon in Cancer, very affected by the eclipse season always, and having all these like really somatic experience of these energies, like how everything is coming up to the surface, wanted to be felt, wanted to be understood, wanted to be acknowledged. The ego tries to protect, the ego, the Mercury, the logical mind, tries to create the story based on the past, project the past into the present, tries to help us safe, keep us safe and secure. That's the Cancer, right? Keep us safe and secured, being attached to the old version of ourselves, the old identity that now became outdated, is not lower, it's no longer working. It's no longer working. Mars is squaring this moon. Mars was also squaring the new moon, the new moon, the eclipse that we had 6 months ago in October. So it's no longer working, the old versions of ourselves. And this is again my personal experience in my life. I've gone as far as I could with the way I was, the way who I was. That is ending. It's a dead end. I've gone as far as I could go, and that's it. You know, I cannot go any further. It lost meaning. It lost sense of purpose. Like this Pluto square coming up to Neptune square, not exact until 2026 for me personally, but I still feel it. It's still happening. You know, as soon as Neptune moved into the sign of Aries, these things get triggered. This is again a collective energy. As soon as Neptune moved into the sign of Aries, we are all feeling it. We are all feeling the desire. You know, the Aries, the first house, the fire of creation, the desire. There must be something more. There must be a new way, new sense of meaning, right? So now Mars being still in the sign of Cancer, squaring this moon, and Mars being still in his post-retrograde shadow, but moving forward, making his, trine to Neptune right in Aries. I have to keep looking at the notes because I don't remember all this data right now. So anyway, so this is like we are going forward, like from Mars going through his retrograde, through the sign of Cancer, which is what I already talked about. We were reevaluating the sense of our identity, our attachment to the past, the memories, the ancestor line, the old stories, all the rest of it. And now Mars is moving back into a sign of Leo. Mercury is moving back into a sign of Aries. Neptune is already Aries. Saturn will be moving into Aries next month. Venus will be moving into Aries at the end of this month, right after the new moon in Taurus, of the new foundation. These are very pivotal energies we're playing with right here, right now. As I mentioned at the beginning of the year, the first 3 months of this year was a shadow work time. Nothing much was happening, nothing much was changing, nothing much was moving ahead. Then there was the eclipse season. A lot of things got stirred up, brought to the surface for us to see what we're working here, what is changing, what's going on, what's happening, right? Tapping into these feelings, and a lot of that because most of that the energy was focused in Pisces, Virgo Pisces, you know, connected to the southern and north node, even though the eclipse in Aries was in Aries, but the north node is in Pisces, right? So this is again the past and the future where they collide in the present moment, where the future is being created in the present moment and the past can be altered in the present moment. Everything is happening in the present moment. That's the only one that really exists. So anyway, so all of these energies still in March, even now in April, we are still in this post-retrograde shadow. Mercury just stationed retrograde, stationed direct. Venus is just stationed in direct later on tonight after the full moon in Libra, which I have to remind myself is not an eclipse, but it's very powerful full moon. So we are still in this post-retrograde shadow, including Mars and Jupiter. They're still in his post-retrograde shadow. So things are still being integrated, but slowly, surely, now with Venus stationed in direct, which is, this period of time we have until Pluto stations retrograde, which is on 4th of May, we will have no retrograde planets, at least not planets, obviously asteroids. Some asteroids are retrograde, Juno is retrograde, but the planets are going direct until May 4th. So this is like this unique period of time, 3 weeks or something like that, when all the planets are direct. So this forward momentum is gaining speed, right? And then Pluto will go retrograde on 4th of May, right after the new moon in Taurus, before the full moon in Scorpio, bang in the middle. And this is an opportunity to then start putting in, integrating this level of consciousness, right? Because Pluto is our soul's desire for incarnation. It's like why we're here, right? What did we come here to learn, evolve, and all the rest of it? So these 3 weeks is where everything is shifting. We're going through this energy of hibernation, this energy of like, oh yeah, you know, doing all the shadow work, being introspective, and this is still going to be part of it because, you know, we never done truly, but also because we are in the year of Hermit, the year number 9, there is always more to work on, but the energy will start changing. It's already changing. The energy will start moving forward. So there will be this more and more desire to not just initiate, but actually to ground this energy, to create changes in our life. So again, going back into this a practical aspect of this astrological video, which, you know, involves my personal experience, like the amount of awarenesses and aha moments and puzzle pieces that are becoming conscious and falling into place to actually make the unconscious into conscious so that change can take place, you know, with regards to the modus of operandus that I was completely unaware of, that now are getting mirrored to me or triggered to me, for me, by another person close to me, and having the opportunity to really go through all these emotions and remember like, what is this emotion connected to it? It's not the right here right now, even though this situation right here right now might be triggering, right, this full moon in Libra. Someone is showing you, it's illuminating to you something that is unresolved, something that is unhealed, because the trigger is within, right? The person just like strikes the match and stuff, but the ammunition is inside. And with the Libra, it's always about the opportunity to neutralize, right, to balance that which is out of balance. That's technically what karma is, to balance stuck energy that is trapped in time, the energy, the emotion, the energy in motion, right? So this is why for many people this is a very emotional time, because a lot of things are coming to the surface for us to become aware of and then investigate. With the moon moving into Scorpio tomorrow, and we start in the new week with moon in Scorpio, investigate where is this coming from, what I'm really reacting to, what I'm really in reaction towards, right? Because yes, I might think, is this person, is this situation, but is it really? Because this you know, feeling I felt before, this situation, not with maybe this person, not maybe the same situation, but it happened before. It is not the first time, and in many cases we even think to ourselves like, oh my god, not again, or here we go again, on, you know, round and around again we go, right? And yeah, this is once again an opportunity for all of us, because of these triple hits, right, these triple aspects, and we have more yet to come, you know, with Venus coming up, you know, all of these triple aspects going back, going forward, going back, going forward. And that's life, you know, that's also reincarnations, right? We're going over some of the same patterns and having the opportunity to do them differently, to create a new pattern, to create opportunity for growth and expansion. And that's life, you know, that's what we come here to do, the joyous expansion, opportunity to create something different, a new response to a situation. So all of these things are happening. They are happening in real time, and with Mars squaring it, it's the challenging this attachment to what, this is who I am, this is how it's always been, this is you know, I'm expecting this already, because, you know, it's the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So we are now with the Neptune being in a sign of Pisces, right? This doesn't have to be the case. Neptune being a sign of Aries, ruled by Mars, right? Mars squaring the moon, and Venus being in Pisces. Neptune is now in Aries, you know, and a Sun being a sign of Aries. Again, Mars in Cancer, and Mercury also being soon to be ruled by the, you know, by the time that next week hits. Mercury will be preparing for his ingress back into the sign of Aries. So again, will be ruled by Mars, but then Mars moves into the sign of Leo, so Mercury then will become you know, will be ruled by Mars in Leo. So yeah, so this is the creation, not Mars in Cancer anymore, which is like, okay, let's feel into it, you know, let's remember, you know, where this program came from, where this narrative came from, this story, you know, where did it come from? And then Mars is moving to the sign of Leo right after Mercury moves into the sign of Aries. So it's like, okay, now it's time to create something new, okay? Because we had this illumination, we had this beautiful illumination that's going on in the sky for us today. I forgot exactly where is yeah, I'm sure Lilith is involved. She's, yeah, Lilith, I think is on like, isn't she on like 2 degrees of Scorpio or something, squaring Pluto. Pluto is squaring Lilith. So yeah, all the shadow, and for me this is obviously conjunct my natal Pluto and my progress Pluto and whatever. So all these things are coming up, you know, the shadow, our own shadow, the shadow of collective consciousness, the shadow of the other people, all the shadows are coming up to play, because what is shadow? Shadow is the unintegrated light, right? right? It's something that is stuck in time, like the emotion, you know. So that's why all these emotions coming up, we feeling things, we get triggered, you know, see our shadow, see the other person's shadow, and have the opportunity to balance this energy and create a new pattern, right? Break free from this pattern, create new pattern. What is this? This Venus sextile to Uranus, right? For the third and the final time. And Venus to Uranus, this is a closing sextile. Venus is the ruler of the Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Pluto. Closing sextile, which is Aquarius, liberation, freeing ourselves. Like, does this still hold the value to me? You know, is this still important to me, you know, to hold on to this, to hold on to this old identity, to hold on to these old values, to hold on to this way of relating, or is this a different way? And yeah, it takes courage. It takes courage to face it. It takes courage to show up, you know, like with the Aries, you have to show up, you have to do the work, right? You have to be brave and courageous to do something you haven't done before, to be the fool, to go through that cycle all over again and make mistakes, fall, and then stand up again, and then go backwards again, like me, you know, like yesterday doing great, you know, having realization like, oh yeah, you know, I got it, I understand it and stuff, and today bang again, you know. So it's like this, there is no direct line, there is no straight line forward. It's not like just like, okay, and now I got it all, and now I'm going, you know, to the top of the mountain, and I'll just meditate, and I'll go and be enlightened and ascended, you know. Like, no, we all already enlightened, we already ascended, right? The soul doesn't need anything. The soul is already perfect, you know. That's the Pisces. The soul is already perfect. The soul already ascended. The soul is already enlightened. It's just the human's journey where we came here to play a role, put on a costume, play a role, embody things, you know, forget who we really are, dive into the DNA, dive into the emotion, and go like, okay, let's have an experience and see what a better job I can do this time, right? And you're gonna help me by triggering me, and you're gonna help me by, you know, whatever, listening to me, creating the space for me. That's the Libra, right? That's the external environment that support us in this process of continuous choosing, breaking of the pattern, and growth and evolution, right? The trine, again, the Libra to Gemini to Aquarius, but then we have the square, right? The Libra in square to Cancer and Capricorn, which is like continuously being challenged with regards to our ego and attachment to the identity and the structure of reality that made us feel safe and secure. That, okay, well, if I change, everything around me change. But also the other way, if I want everything around me to change, I have to change. And, you know, if that which I don't like being mirrored to me, Libra, right? If I don't like these relational dynamics, if I don't like what I observe, right? Then I cannot expect the other person to change, or that something to change, and then I change. No, I have to change first. It's that Aries. It creates this initiation that, okay, well, if I want something to change, you know, I have to change. I have to initiate change, right? The Aries, this new dynamic. That's why Mars is squaring this moon. Because Mars is the ruler of Sun, and Venus in the sign of Pisces, right? She's sandwiched between Saturn and the North Node. So, I mean, like, seriously, like, we have all these crazy things going on in Pisces. Venus now stationing, obviously. She's going to make her forward momentum and, you know, conjunct everyone again. She will also then sextile Neptune, what is it, sextile Neptune? Well, no, conjunct Neptune. Yeah, she will conjunct Neptune, sextile Pluto again from Aries when she gets there. Sextile Uranus, obviously, at the end of the week. So all of this is coming up, you know, all of this is coming up for Venus as well. But Mercury is already going through it. Mars already gone through it, you know, his triple aspects and stuff. So yeah, third time lucky, right? Third time lucky. But, you know, like, and this is something I'm struggling with currently. Don't beat yourself up about it, because it's just life, you know, life happens. We just all came here to have a fool's journey experience and then go back and, you know, celebrate like, oh yeah, that was a great time, you know, that was a great ride. Next time I'll do this differently, that differently. But in a sense, that's where we at right here, right now, because that's the only thing we have, the right here, right now. So we're going through the live review right here, right now, with the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo. And all of these lunations, especially the full moons, are illuminating to us, you know, where we came from and where do we want to go from here, because it's the midpoint. All the new moons are seeding this old consciousness, you know, closing the old cycles and already beginning at the new ones, because there is no end to anything. Everything just continuously going forward. It's just there is continuous momentum, opportunity for growth and evolution through going again, trying again, you know, new cycle begins. round and around we go, but it's continuous expansion. You're never stuck just in the same cycle. Even for me, experiencing the same dynamic, the same loops and trauma responses to certain situations and stuff, but it's never quite the same. I never stay in the same funk for the same amount of time and having the same outcome of it exactly. Like always there is a new realization, the new amount of processing, like the something new becomes conscious to me, more emotions is being processed or whatever. Nothing is ever exactly the same. There is no replication. I mean, even though it might feel the same. And I mean, if we need to go through it again, then we will, and then we have the opportunity for further change. But yeah, we are moving forward, even though still fairly slowly, but things will gain momentum. Mercury is now speeding up again. Things will gain momentum, and we will see more and more changes manifest. The more we go forward, the more we go into the upcoming times, especially Saturn will be moving into the sign of Aries, but mostly, especially since Uranus will move into the sign of Gemini in July, right? And that will be then the premonition of 2026 energies. So technically this is what's going on, and I'm sure this is showing up in one way or another for everyone, with these full moon energies. A lot of illumination, a lot of relational dynamics are offering opportunity for healing. Venus is still in Pisces after all, right? The unconditional love, acceptance of self and other, forgiveness of self and other, having opportunity to compassionate with oneself and other, right? Because in the opposition with the South Node, we balancing, yeah, we've gone this far, and yes, sacrifices were being made, mistakes were being made, but it was all serving, it was all with a sense of purpose and meaning at the time. Maybe now it doesn't hold the same purpose and meaning, but everything that happened and everything that is holds a meaning and purpose. There is no waste. Universe doesn't make mistake. There is no waste in the universe. So it's just a matter of how do we perceive what we perceive in, and what do we do with it, right? That's always the choice, the Jupiter in Gemini, the choice. And with Mercury moving back into the sign of Aries, we are encouraged to make a new choice, making the new conjunction to Neptune. If we found that the meaning has changed, so the choice also have to change. Jupiter, the traditional ruler of the North Node, Neptune, the modern ruler of the North Node, Jupiter being ruled by Mercury, being in Gemini, Mercury conjuncting Neptune in Aries for the third time. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. So yeah, responding the same way to the same situation doesn't feel the same, may no war. It doesn't give you the same sense of release or satisfaction or contentment, because you change. Mars now is moving back into Leo. You've changed. The same person you were last time Mars was doing his, what was it, trine to Neptune, right, in October or January. The same person you were in October when we had the new moon in Libra. I am not the same person. I'm not the same person I was in January, for sure not. So yeah, everything changed. Everything is changing, and it's just a matter of flowing with it, because if we resist it, that's where we feel stuck. That's where we'll feel like we're dying, like, oh my God, this doesn't feel good anymore. Can't do it anymore. So the only thing that can offer the relief is just keep going. Just keep going and accept what is. Accept the change. That is the peace of the present moment. Accept what is for what is, because it will change anyway. The good and the bad, everything will change. Everything keeps changing all the time. And this is the new way. This is the new way that we are birthing, the new way of being and interacting with reality, the feminine way, the receptive way, not having to have the 5-year plan and knowing every step of the journey, with your logical mind, because it's just the replication of the past, thinking that I only know what already happened. I don't know what's going to happen, right? And being in a receptive mode of a trust and surrender, that is the female, that is the divine feminine, not female as a sex, right? But this is the divine feminine, the feminine, divine feminine way of being, which is not based on this continuous, like planning and being in the left brain and stuff, even though that has a place. It's important. But we've been dominantly living from that place, and now that's ended. Mercury is in Pisces to be moving back into Aries. That's it. Conjuncting Neptune for the first time in the sign of Aries. Mercury is never going to conjunct Neptune in the sign of Pisces ever again in our life anyway. So not for another quite 160 years or so. So, I mean, it's not really relevant to even talk about right here, right now. So, Mercury will not be conjuncting Neptune in a sign of Pisces again. Neither will Venus. Venus is going to conjunct Neptune also in Aries now for the final time. So that's it. Everything's changed. Everything's changed. And this full moon in Libra is just showing us what is out of balance, right? And what do we need to do? And what we need to do is look at this Cancer and Capricorn, right? Like, what am I attached to? What sense of safety and security that is connected to the old versions of who I was that helped me to survive? You know, the authority. Who is in charge? Is it my ego? Is it my higher self? Who is it? Is it my someone external of me? So there are a lot of questions we are going to be processing going into this new week with these triple aspects happening, the third hit, right? And this Mercury moving into Aries, Mars moving back into Leo. Because the things are going to be seen differently, and then Sun moving into the sign of Taurus at the end of the week, we will be grounding this new energy and creating a new foundation, right? And then post that, this Mars trine to Neptune, Venus sextile to Uranus, Mercury sextile to Pluto, and Sun square to Mars. This is already Sun being in a sign of Taurus, so that's the new foundation. The new foundation that we are creating, which is part of this upcoming new times, you know, upcoming new earth. I mean, the new earth is already here. It's just a manifestation of it, right? Okay, guys, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna pull some cards, 40 minutes of chat. But yeah, trust me, we're all going through this together. It's showing up in everyone's life. More people, some people, I don't know if more, but some are conscious of it, some are unconscious of it, but we're all on the same boat, right? Called planet Earth. So we're all going through this, and everybody is going through their own process. No right or wrong way of dealing with it. Everybody knows what is the right thing for them. But yeah, a lot of things are becoming very conscious to us right now. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to start with the Quantum Oracle from the Sandra and Taylor. I will see if I'm going to be using much of the booklets. But yeah, I want to see about the timelines, you know, quantum leaps that we are experiencing at the moment, because with the planets in Pisces, but the energy of Aries and premonition of the future. Let's see. Quantum Oracle, what is the guidance for the after effects of this Libra full moon 2025? What are we learning? Okay, there is quite a bunch of cards. Creative endeavor was at the bottom of it. I'll keep that one. Number 8, creative endeavor. Yeah, we are being invited to be more creative. Number 8. Okay, let's see. There was a bunch of cards. I just took that off one. See if there is any particular one that wants to speak. Okay, this is upside down. The dark thoughts, unconsciousness. So yeah, this is becoming conscious. The unconscious is becoming conscious. Let's see. But yeah, it's number 3. It's reverse. So let's see what that's gonna say. I'm going to look at the book for that one. And at the bottom we have joyous fun reverse. Yeah, joyous fun reverse. I don't think many people are probably having much fun right now with all of these crazy energies that are bombarding us. But again, it's an opportunity. Only you can put it the right way up, right? It's up to you, because yeah, this is really the planet Earth. This is what it is. It's just a playground. You know, we all came here to play. So joyous fun, you know, it's up to us to decide how much of this we are experiencing. Yeah, creative endeavor. This is all very Leo energy, like, you know, Mars in Rio, like focusing more on your creativity, you know, also Neptune, the music, water, right? Play, creativity. But this came reversed. Not many people are doing that. Not many people are experiencing that. Why? Because the consciousness is reversed, right? Let's see about the consciousness reversed. Yeah, that's very interesting. So this is dark thoughts, okay. Yeah, I want to read this one card. This one is sticking up for me the most, because yeah, in many cases we know what to do, but we don't know how to do it, you know. Even for me, yeah, I know all the theory, putting into practice, different story altogether. That takes time, you know. It's like a labyrinth, right? So dark thoughts, shadows of the mind. But it was reversed. Okay, here comes the sun. Good. So yeah, illumination. So here we go. Yeah, This is becoming, because things are, the unconscious is becoming conscious, so then we can change it. Here comes the sun. When this card is reversed in your spread, it reveals a time of increasing light and clarity for you. You may have been through some dark times lately, lost in a labyrinth of problems, but all that is coming to an end. Things will be going more smoothly from now on. In fact, your movement into lighter, happier times might have already started. Your life force energy is lifting, bringing more joyous experiences and increasing positive results. Make sure you support these wonderful outcomes by maintaining your bright new pathways of trust and positive thinking. Affirmation: I consciously choose to release unhealthy thoughts and behaviors. I am always strong enough to make choices that honor me. Yeah, because a lot of us been stuck, in the labyrinth of our thoughts, the outdated belief systems, the darkness of our thought. That I know for sure that's been for me. Every time the light comes through, and then more shadows comes to play that wants to be acknowledged, that can be turned into the light. But there is more desire, like with the spring in the top hemisphere, upper hemisphere, northern hemisphere. Spring is coming, more sunshine, and more people want to play, experience more joy, right? The sun brings more desire for happiness and joy, and like childhood, creativity. So this is the Mars returning back into the sign of Leo. So I really feel like many of us will be coming out, or having the opportunity to come out of funk, because with all of these energies that we've been experiencing with the retrograde, Mars still in shadow, Jupiter still in shadow, there is like this winter, and like I said, the first 3 months was pretty much about shadow work, and then the eclipses just put a punchline to it, and now the energy is shifting, changing, and it's gonna create a forward momentum of change, right? So we had enough of this. We had enough of this dark labyrinth, being stuck in thoughts, that don't go anywhere, limited belief system, being stuck in the labyrinth of our own mind, the maze, also the confusion, right? And this is number 3, which is the creation, consciousness. So we're becoming conscious of the unconscious, so we no longer have to be stuck, so we can make a different choice and create more joy and fun in our experience. And that will be the foundation, the Taurus new moon, which is the next one to come. All right, let's see the moonology messages. Message from the full moon in Libra as we speak. Okay, transformation, perfect. The triple moon goddess, moon magic, transformation. That's what's going on with the full moon in Libra. Like I said, a lot of things are becoming illuminated, and with the Mars square in it, we have nowhere to dodge, because Mars in Cancer, it's making you to feel everything. So we have nowhere to hide, right? And at the bottom is the law of attraction. This is again about the choice, law of attraction. Moon mastery. So there is an opportunity to transform and manifest consciously, right? Again, it's connected to becoming conscious of the unconscious, the Jupiter in Gemini, conscious of the unconscious, so you can consciously choose your story and create it, right? This is energy, number 7. Number 7 is the Neptune energy, which is now Neptune in Aries, new meaning, following new meaning, also the green, a lot of heart chakra activation and events. Number 8, the strength, right? Number 8 is the Jupiter and Saturn frequency, the abundance, prosperity, create. Libra also, this is 7, number 7, Libra house, Libra. So we're going through transformation to help us to tap into the law of attraction, that really it is us who is creating this experience. So when I take the ownership and the responsibility, then I can change it. The yellow, the creativity, again the joy, right? The yellow usually is like, the yellow is the sun card, it's connected to the child. So we're going through transformation, so we can tap back into our childlike innocence, the opportunity to create something different. That's what's becoming illuminated to us, and everything that doesn't feel good as the opportunity to be transformed, transmuted, released, integrated. So then we can create something new. Okay, then last minute I was called to use this deck, which is the Healing Waters from Rebecca Campbell. I used it before, but because for me personally, I'm moving through a lot of emotions myself. I'm sure there are other people who are, so I was being guided to use this deck, Healing Waters, see what the water wants to tell us, the emotions, our emotional state. Moon rules waters, right? Moon in Libra, the emotions that are getting triggered by the other or the external environment that are teaching us something about ourselves. Mars in Cancer, and Mars is about to move in Leo. What do you want to create? Who do you want to become? So let's see what these emotions want to tell us. Healing Waters, because everything is to support you. Everything is happening for me, for you, not to you, not to me. Okay. Well maintenance, already had this card many times. Well maintenance, kindness, respect, reverence, compassion, right? Yeah, having the compassion for yourself, and then making waves, right? We're making new waves. Momentum is building, it's your time, achievements. Yeah, this is the this is the Mars moving back into Leo, Mercury moving back in Aries, Venus will be moving back in Aries, Neptune is already Aries, Saturn will be moving to Aries. We're gonna have a lot of planets in Aries soon. Sun is in Aries to be moving into Taurus, so Sun will be grounding the energy. So through kindness, respect, compassion, through our own healing, right? Healing the waters, tending to your own well, tending to your own waters, we are going to be making waves, forward momentum. So this is again like this. We're going through transformation to be able to start working consciously. This is like Three of Cups, right? Like coming back together, your inner child and your higher self, coming back together to co-create. This looks to me like Three of Cups card of co-creation, by reconnection, by transmuting energies, the triple moon goddess, right? The past, present, and future. Transmutation, moon magic. Yeah, using the energies of the water, of the moon, the water, the intuition to create consciously by tending to your own well, to your own emotion, healing, right? The top of the mountain, this is like the hermit, right? The top of the mountain being the hermit, tend to your own emotion, tapping inside, you know, be guided for the forward the momentum. Okay, the well maidens, I'm gonna read a little bit about the well maidens, because I don't remember it very well. And I think that gives us some more insight with regards to the making waves. Momentum is building, is your time to achieve, because this is quite self-explanatory. We are all building up towards something new, that's for sure. Like nothing will be the same. Okay, so these well maidens, goddesses that were taking care of the waters, remain protected. If you see that this well, wisdom of these ancient times. The well maidens are the keepers of harmony and balance. Yeah, Libra, right? They respect the sacred waters, and as a result they give plenty. They deliver a message about the importance of these qualities in the way we treat ourselves, others, and the nature that sustains and supports us. They remind us to slow down and offer kindness and respect to others, the earth, and ourselves each and every day. Soul inquiry: how can you offer kindness and respect to yourself, the earth, and others? Yeah, tending to your own waters. When your cup is full, you have something to give. If your cup is empty, you don't. So taking care of oneself, self-care, you know, Mars still in Cancer, taking care of oneself, so then you can take care of everyone and the world, but not at your expense of self-sacrifice. You know, this is what changing the identity we attach to. Yeah, before we were being accoladed for sacrifice, right? This is the hero, the sacrifice, or, you know, the martyr or the victim or whatever. But this is no longer going to be the case going forward, you know, like with this Aquarius, equality, you have to take responsibility. Aquarius traditionally ruled by Saturn. Now Saturn is moving into Aries next month, right? So it's like, no, you have to be your own leader. You have to tend to your own waters. Only you're responsible. I'm responsible for my feelings. It's not the other person's responsibility how I feel. That's my responsibility, right? How I feel is my responsibility. I am the only one that can change it, right? Because for as long as I make other people responsible for my emotions, then I will always feel disempowered. That's the card's Capricorn. Somebody else is in charge. So yeah, making the waves. Let's just see a short message about that one. Making the waves. Here. Making the waves. What is the message? This is an extremely positive and encouraging card. Your commitment is paying off and your prayers are being answered. You're being supported by forces both known and unknown to you. This is more definitely your time. Things have been building for some time. and momentum is all around you. Whether you're working on a creative project, having an impact in your professional life, or creating something in your personal life, this card is a confirmation that great success will follow. So put in place whatever you need to make the most of this unique opportunity. Now is the time to ask for what you want, so, to let yourself to be truly seen. So much is on your side. The harvest time is here. Do whatever you need to do to truly ride the waves of your destiny. All you've been working towards is here. I open my arms wide to receive the bounty of what I've created and say yes to enjoying life fully. Yeah, but I think the two are connected. You know, it all starts from you. So invest in yourself, and then you can invest in the other, and then the other will, you know, the world will mirror it back to you. Then you will be rewarded. Yeah. So yeah, all of these cards are speaking of the same thing. We are becoming very aware where there is a balance or lack of balance, and having the opportunity to change it in every area of life. You know, how we think, how we act, what we believe, what we cherish, our relationship dynamic, especially because Libra, right, full moon, ruled by Venus in Pisces, what holds a meaning, what lost a meaning. Yeah. Healing and integration of the former transits for Venus, being the ruler of the North Node and then the South Node, and now she's being reborn, she's healing, right? So is Mars, so is Mercury, all the personal planets. Okay, now let's ask the destiny. Sacred destiny, what's the guidance? What's the guidance for us? Collective message, please. Sacred destiny. Guidance with this full moon in Libra. Is there a particular card that wants to speak? Destiny is not talking. Destiny is saying, you choose for yourself. You creating your own destiny from now on. It's to be decided by you. Look, nothing is coming. Nothing is coming. Okay, one card. Let's see. Fulfillment. Yeah, the peach. The peach is ripe. Look, full moon. Peach is ripe. You know, time to harvest, right? And at the bottom is trust. Yeah, learning to trust. Trust yourself. Trust your emotion. Trust the water. Trust the cycles, right? All right, let's see. So fulfillment and trust. Let's look at this peach. This is also like yellow, orange. Your confidence and your creativity. You create fulfillment. Fulfillment. Let's see. All right. Fulfillment is at hand, no matter what is occurring in your life. You put your attention on what is splendid, pleasurable, and luscious, right? This is to do with the law of attraction. What you focus on, you attract more of. You don't attract what you want, but who you are. So find bliss in the moment. Love fully, deeply, without hesitation. Cherish your friendships. Fill your life with people, experiences, and places that give you delight. Let go of people and things that don't feel empowering and that drag your energy down. You no longer need to put the needs of others ahead of your own needs. If you've had any health issues, and a ripe peach represents a return to better health. Savor your life with gusto and with grace. Experience and embrace life in all its permutations. If you want to conceive a baby or a new project or start a new relationship, this card is an excellent omen for great outcome. So yeah, with a full moon, sometimes people say that it's the end of the cycle. It is not the end of the cycle, it's just the midpoint. However, it is the opportunity to change the direction, right? Because the illumination. So again, this card, it's just underlining the same messages, that we came to a certain point where we have the opportunity to make a different choice, perceive things differently, approach things differently, to harvest the rewards of what we were working towards, change the course, right? Yeah, there is opportunity to manifest and harvest more of the pleasurable things if that's what we're focusing on. So with the illumination, especially with Libra, the balance, the relationships, we have the opportunity to choose, to decide, you know, like, what am I going to be focusing on going forward? What holds a meaning? It is not about the truth, it's about your truth. It is about what holds a meaning for you, right? And then the trust, you know, you have to trust yourself, you have to trust the universe. This is for me the divine feminine way of being, trust and surrender. This is a powerful and important card to receive. Yeah, the receptivity, the female, right? The water, allow things to come. I don't chase, I attract. Even when things seemed parched or not fruitful, a deep Deeper energy speaks of the power of your inner knowing. Meditate, trust these nudges from the universe. Your celestial advisors are close now. You are now open to receive some of the most important messages of your life through your intuition. Your intuition is spot on, so trust it. And even if there are some areas of your life that seem lackluster, know that other areas are being fertilized for a resplendent future. Have faith and know that there is a higher purpose. Yeah, so this is, again, like I said, this is exactly connected to this. What does it mean, this divine feminine, the rise of the divine feminine? It's a time of receptivity. It's a time of living life, leading life from inside out, the inner guidance, the trust, surrender, and flow, right? But none of us knows. Well, none of us knows. Some people do. For some people it's easier than others, but most of us are run by our trauma response, right? Reacting and responding based on the trauma loops. So this is the opportunity for healing that, releasing that, neutralizing, zapping the energy so it no longer holds a charge. This is something that I've been working on very hardly. And so whatever happens outside doesn't have an impact. You know, it doesn't determine your sense of value, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the situation, doesn't change the direction of your day if that's not what you want, right? So I feel with this trust, yes, it is about learning to trust and surrender to the guidance and trust your intuition, allow these emotions to be the messengers because that's what they are, right? There is so much depth into this message and I don't feel it can be fully articulated into words. It has to be felt. I really feel that is the time we really stepping into it. Is not just about understanding it with our logical mind or being able to label it. Like now, especially since this last Mercury retrograde, I've been experiencing like having problem with speaking, remembering words, being able to put into words certain things, like articulate certain things, because there are things that I feel and I am experiencing that cannot be put into words because it cannot encapsulate what's going on. And that's why I feel with this, Uranus moving into Gemini, which will be the time where the telepathy becomes more commonplace, then you don't have to get lost in words because there are so many things that can be lost in translation or misinterpreted when we try to use words, because words are so limiting. And our consciousness is expanding beyond the limitations of the verbiage, of the verbal expression, right? So yeah, I feel with, this feminine way, like feeling it, tapping into it, like you can feel how someone else feels. You can feel into it. And then you don't need words, right? We don't need to get confused and lost in verbiage. So yeah, so this is a preparation for this Jupiter moving from Gemini into Cancer, feeling, and Uranus moving into Gemini, right? So Jupiter will be influenced by the moon for the next year from June going forward. And and Uranus by Mercury, and Mercury goes retrograde 4 times a year. So yeah, that's gonna be impacting that acceleration of the Pluto in Aquarius. So we have crazy times ahead. So this is the grounding time. This is the quiet time, even though the energies are going to start picking up. And actually I wanted to pull one card from Journey of Love. I was already reaching for the major arcana. One card from Journey of Love, because you are love, you return to love, and all in between is just finding your way back home. The Journey of Love. This is Alana Fairchild and Rasuli. One card please for the collective energy. The Journey of Love. Yeah, these are the cards that have the poems. Okay, let's see. The beauty. Yeah, focus on the beauty. This is again connected to this law of attraction and the fulfillment, the peach and the law of attraction. Focus on that which you want to create, not that which you don't, right? There's no need to waste all our energy focusing on things that are not in alignment and don't feel good. Focus on the beauty. And at the bottom is Shifting Universe. I had not had this card before. Shifting Universe, because everything is changing. Yeah, focus on the beauty because everything is changing. The Shifting Universe, number 7, Neptune, right? Nothing is what it seems. And again, we have this, spiral of evolution, the blue. you know, the consciousness, the emotion, the third eye, and the yellow giving a birth to the new sense of I am, giving a birth to courage to create something new. And there is the green in between, right? The heart, connected to the heart. So focus on the beauty, right? The beauty card is very self-explanatory, so I'm not really going to read it. It's 58, which is the number 13. Oh yeah, okay, Spirit is saying, yeah, because nobody focuses on the beautiful. So let's read that as well then. Yeah, because we just sweep it under the carpet. Okay, well, never mind. Okay, so let's read both. Divine Feminine, the 58, number 13, number 4, the foundation of the future is the beauty, focusing on the beauty. To celebrate the Divine Feminine is to honor her beauty, her endless bounty and abundant creativity. You are a vehicle of her beauty. This is a radiance that has nothing to do with soul-destroying cultural stereotypes based on physical appearances. It is the radiance that comes from feeling beautiful within, of allowing all that you are to shine through you and be witness in the world. You are being asked to let the inner beauty become one with your physical self. You don't have to change the way you look to become more of the divine beauty that you are. You just need to change the way you look at yourself. Behold the divine within you. You are in the process of healing past wounds about your appearance, your body, and your sexuality, finding purity in all of yourself and becoming ready to share that with others in a deeper and more open way without shame or self-criticism. Take your time and fall in love with what you are. Then you can become not the victim of others' own projected shame, but the love necessary for the shame of the world to heal. This oracle indicates a significant change in self-perception taking place within you, an ability to love and accept yourself more completely than you have ever have before, quite simply because you have grown and there is more divinity awakened in your heart than ever before. The nature of the divine is love, and you are releasing that you don't have to change to be beautiful. Allow this development to grow swiftly and embrace your uniqueness, beloved. You are an exquisite flower of the heavenly garden. And it was on the H133, the 3-3, heart consciousness. Number 6, Venus, the balance. And the poem goes, how many times I've looked in your eyes and sailed away beyond my dreams to a sheltered thought on a quiet beach where the sand is soft as flour. You may never know this place, and someday when you look in my eyes, I will tell you. So that's the beauty. That's actually a very powerful card. I had that card coming up for me personally quite a few times in the past 5 months I've been here. So yeah, this is the healing, the self-love, the reconnecting with oneself. Chiron is going to move into Chiron next year. He will be the only one in the feminine sign, you know, the ground in the divine feminine, but through self-worth, the creation of the new foundation from within, from yourself. Right? And this is true, you know, like it's the continuous comparison, the shame, jealousy, guilt that all comes from lack of self-love that's been projected onto us, that we were born into, not with. We weren't born felt unlovable. That's what we became. That's what we were being projected onto by those who didn't heal themselves. So now is the opportunity to put a stop to it, focus on the beauty of who you really are. And it's not so easy. Not so easy for most. Most of us struggle with that. Okay, shifting universe. So that's this one, number 7. You are blessed with an opportunity to change gears, to change your life, to jump on the fast train. You are invited to fling yourself off the repetitive treadmill way of life and into a dance through nature, to be utterly confused and delighted to accept the weight of divine trust. Trust again. Even with its chaos, the instability that precedes all genuine creativity. So here it is. You get out of your get out of jail free card. That's this one, the jail, right? And the creativity, right? The creativity. Okay, so your get out of jail free card, your opportunity to make a mess and find what you didn't know you were looking for. You are being nudged. If you wish, you let yourself go down the strange path opening up before you without knowing what it is, even as you take your next step. Your universe is shifting. A stranger, more beautiful world beckon. Why not go where you haven't been before? You'll find yourself there and realize you are more than what you once thought you were. This oracle has a message for you. If you are thinking of changing locations, jobs, houses, or attitudes, trying something new, especially if it is unusual for you, then the universe is supporting you. Now is the time to accept what you didn't expect. The dream, the taste and touch of you within. Thoughts linger on a sweet caress. You come to me, no sounds distract the night's embrace of innocence. The artist's brush across my lips, the palette rich in colors deep, to flow with feelings now renewed, and blend as one in breath and hue. Entwined, our bodies bath in love, and weep with longing slow release. Emotion, song, and soft refrain awaken dreams that never cease. Yeah, there's the consciousness, always wanting to create and recreate, right? So yeah, this is again going back to the original message. Everything is changing. Everything is changing and shifting, and this beauty, seeing yourself as beautiful and worthy to receive the beauty of the universe that will be taking you to the fulfillment, right? Fulfillment and trust. And then underneath was the transformation, the card of transformation, the butterfly. The butterfly effect, okay, was underneath that one. Voyage, yeah. Trust the journey, trust the journey. We are all transforming, transformation, like here. Transformation, yeah, we're all going through transformation, shifting the gears, getting free of gel card, right? And that was the Pisces age, the Saturn, right now moving from Pisces to Aries next month. We'll have one more ingress, but then Saturn will shift back into the sign of Aries next February, and that's it then. Okay. Final card, Major Arcana, the guidance for the upcoming week, integrating full moon in Libra. Okay, we have the Lovers and the Sun. And at the bottom, Justice. Yeah, Justice, the Libra. Balancing the old and making a choice. Making a choice. What do you want to create? What do you want to create? The new. This is all about this creation, right? The child making a choice, new choice. What do you want to create? The opportunity to let go of the past, balancing the scale, you know. This is like cut yourself free. Yeah, from the past, cut yourself free from the past, right? Through the inner work, shadow work, Virgo. Yeah, to cultivate your own strength. But this is the point. Making a new choice to create something new. Okay? All right, 111. With that, I would like to close this session and thank my higher self, my spirit guides, ancestors, ascended masters, starseed family, Akashic record keepers, astrological team, angels, and all the beings of light that were present, all the cards and creators of the card. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. And with that, I wish you all a wonderful week ahead, integration of the full moon in Libra, and I'll speak to you again next time. Take care. Bye for now.